Caveat, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? Excellent. Now, please put your hands together and welcome to the stage your co-host, Raleigh Williams.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. How's everybody doing tonight? Okay, now be honest. Who here has an Amazon package coming to their house in the next couple weeks? Make some noise. Who here made some purchases on Amazon because they didn't want to know how bad Amazon was? Okay, because maybe you guys aren't going to be able to buy anything on Amazon after tonight. But I don't know because I haven't seen the show yet. The only person who has, he's seen it in his mind. Give it up big for your host, the genius internet god, Mark VJ!
What's up, everybody? I don't know what that was. That was a fun little dance. What's going on, Caveat? Let's give it up to our house band, Darren.
Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling.
I don't know, I'm exercising. What's the dance the Hype House is doing? Callahan, you know. What's the dance that the Hype House is doing? Like, what's the new dance? I'm flossing. Okay, I don't know. There's a new dance now. Anyway, welcome to Internet Explorers, everybody. Who here, by round of applause, has been here in the past? Fucking hell yes. Thank you so much for coming back. We're always happy to have you. Thank you for selling out this house on a Friday night. Yeah. Okay, and who here, by round of applause, has not been to Internet Explorers before? Welcome. Well, real quick, I'm going to explain what the show is and who I am and what you're in for tonight. My name is Mark Vigent. I'm a comedian who uses comedy to explore and demystify technology. Internet Explorers is my awesome monthly show where I dive into a special little corner of the World Wide Web with guest experts and comedians. And tonight, that special little corner that maybe is more than just one corner is Amazon. Ooh, wow, fun. I have a an objective opinion about this company, and we're going to dive into that, and it's going to be funny, it's going to be scary, and we're all going to have fun. If you want to get up and go to the bar at any time, I will not stop you. Please, I encourage you to do that. There are a bunch of people everywhere, which is a good thing for me, but harder to get to the bar, but everybody's cool. Is everybody cool?
Okay.
Is everybody cool? Yeah, we're going to be polite to each other.
Statistically, everybody is not cool here, right? I mean, the law of averages, there's like 10 people who are completely uncool here.
That's true. I mean, it's also a show about, like, computers on a Friday night, I think. But I think we're our own kind of cool. Let's give it up for Raleigh, our co-host.
Thank you. I'm just kidding. Everyone is cool. Everyone is super duper cool.
Raleigh has a show here also called An Inconvenient Talk Show that he hosts in character as Al Gore, which is true. He's also studying for is it a master's degree?
Just a master's degree in climate science.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm just trying to prove it's a big hoax, you guys.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I'm spending $70,000 a year at Columbia to prove it's a big, fat lie.
Wow. That's good. That's good. I like that. College is very expensive.
Actually, I mean, I am making that $70,000 bet with the U.S. government that Bernie Sanders will be like the president. So
Okay.
vote
Hey,
for
hey.
Bernie or Elizabeth Warren.
Just for you.
Yeah.
And this is Sam, everybody. Sam is moderating our live stream. We're live streaming.
We're live
also.
streaming. And I'll tell you what, we got Doug in here.
What's up, Doug? What's up, Doug?
What's up, Doug? What's up, Doug?
3 times.
And you know, I asked him and he hasn't answered yet, so stay tuned.
Maybe he's hurt.
Oh, that's my father-in-law.
Perfect.
I'm also seeing the chat. He said, can't be there, so I'm here. If that's not a thing that a dad says, right? Can't be there, so I'm here. Love you, Doug. Okay, cool. I think we're about ready to start this show. So basically, the way it's going to work is I'm going to do this whole big old presentation where I talk about the topic of this evening, which is, of course, all about Amazon. Darren? Wait, actually, let's get the projector on first real quick. Oh, crap. Sorry, I should have closed that. Sorry, I had this open from earlier. Oh, crap. I'm sorry. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, shit. Oh, God, they're both. Oh, no. Yes, save it. Replace. I'll remember what Untitled was. Sorry. Okay, all right. Sorry, hold on, Darren. I gave you a false start there. Okay, here we go. Let's just go. Oh wait, hold on. No, wait, hold on. I have to do it from here. I haven't used a computer before.
Smooth as silk, baby boy.
Okay, Darren, hit me. Yes. Amazon. The company's so nice they named it twice. It was originally called Relentless.com. That's true. It was originally called Relentless.com until the investors were like, hey, Jeff, how about we don't call our bookstore Relentless.com? Relentless? That sounds like a fucking energy drink that makes you evil. From like a John Carpenter film. Also, Relentless.com still does redirect to Amazon. You can try it on your phone. Amazon is so fucking big, you didn't even realize how big it is. Just like the rainforest. Except one is getting smaller and thus devastating countless species of plants and animals, and one is getting larger and thus devastating countless species of plants and animals. Amazon is so big. Okay.
These are your people.
You can bury me tonight.
It might
God,
happen.
I didn't even. Oh, that was so fucking cool. Okay, so let's begin here. Their flagship product is the world's largest online marketplace, not to be confused with Amazon Marketplace, which is their third-party vendor market platform. It's so competitive that there's actually a black market for internal Amazon data and a whole industry of Amazon consultants for Amazon Marketplace. It's like, hey, you want to buy a 5-star review? Hey, cool, I got what you need, man. Hey. Their flagship product offers a lot of Amazon offerings, including Amazon Fresh, a food delivery service, Amazon Garage for car parts, Amazon Handmade, which is the Etsy clone, and of course the very real, and I'm not making this up, Amazon Art, a high-end art market where people have, in fact, spent 6 figures on a piece of art. If you call that art, which I do. Lest I forget Amazon Prime, their fee-based membership with faster delivery that also promises exclusive TV and movies made by Amazon Studios. You've got Amazon Music, their streaming music platform, and Amazon Prime also makes you divisible only by one and yourself.
Very cool guy.
Milk it.
Okay, we're moving on. On Amazon.com, you can buy pretty much anything, including a shitload of Amazon products, like the Amazon Echo, which is an AI-based home assistant, the Kindle line of products, e-readers, tablets, smart TVs, Amazon Basics, which are consumer electronics accessories, Amazon Elements, which are domestic products, Amazon Dash buttons, which are these little buttons that let you buy one thing immediately, and of course, Wickedly Prime, the snack food line that's only available to Prime members, the wicked ones, like me, the little devil who can't stop eating roasted almonds. Meow! They're not just online, though, you friends! Amazon Go, their brick and mortar store that uses cameras and super cool sensor technology that's not scary at all, it hopes to have over 3,000 locations by 2021. And Amazon 4-Star, just down the street in Soho, offers just exclusively 4-star and above rated products. Coming soon, Amazon 1-Star, aka Walmart. That's a dab. We're dabbing. Raleigh, what's the dab count?
That is one dab.
One dab, okay. They own over 40 subsidiaries, including Zappos.com, the online shoe store, Audible, the largest producer and seller of audiobooks, Twitch, a live streaming platform that's very popular with the very friendly gaming community, IMDb, the movie website for annoying older brothers, Whole Foods, the fucking grocery store, and of course, Ring, the smart doorbell that guest Caroline Haskins will be talking about later this evening.
Yeah, Caroline!
We're already on page 2 of my script that I've prepared. Single space. Thank you. And I haven't even mentioned their most profitable product. That's right, Amazon Web Services, or AWS for short, is an on-demand cloud computing service that offers a ridiculous list of services to individuals, corporations, and governments around the world. It's pay-as-you-go, and AWS commands a greater market share in the cloud computing industry than Alibaba, Microsoft, and Google combined. It's like the Heinz of cloud computing, except not as tasty and twice as vital to the infrastructure of the internet. You don't want to know what happens when Heinz.com goes down. Here is a small list of companies that run part or all of their computing and data storage on AWS. Netflix, Adobe, Reddit, Imgur, Pinterest, Quora, The Weather Channel, Yelp, Airbnb, Expedia, Slack, Samsung, Nokia, Comcast, Pfizer, Novartis, Dow Jones, Twitter, ESPN, NASA, and even fucking Apple. That's right, iCloud runs on AWS, while I run on Dunkin'. That's a dab. JK, but how many dabs is that?
That's 2.
All right, well,
We
JK,
got
but
some dabs in
seriously.
the chat for that, so.
What'd you say?
We got some dabs in the chat for
We got
that.
dabs in the chat.
Oh,
JK,
sorry, I meant dads.
A dab joke, Sam.
Sam, excellent. I do have to say I did give up caffeine a few months ago, and my full-time job is telling people how good I feel now, so sorry about that. They do offer a few more less advertised products, like Amazon Recognition, which is a facial software service that they sell to companies like ICE. Along with Google, they sell AI capabilities to oil companies so that they can find more oil. Hey, this is a totally non-partial presentation.
Okay,
here.
I'm sorry.
They've been piloting Amazon Care, a healthcare product with their employees that will perhaps be offered to the public at some point. Oh, and they've also created a whole delivery network, including Prime Air. Not to be confused with the people who actually deliver packages to your door. Those are third-party delivery services that are paid significantly less than the unionized UPS, USPS, and FedEx workers who used to do that. And it's not a company, but Amazon spends so much money lobbying in Washington that the Wall Street Journal calls them one of Washington's most powerful players. So you can take that, Bryce Hopper. Oh, that's a sports joke. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I didn't expect you to know who Bryce Hopper is. He does have the David Bowie eye thing, though. So that's fun. That's okay. We can. It's not an like. It's cool that he has two different
He's
color
wearing
eyes.
a Walgreens hat. It looks nice.
Is that Max Scherzer? Is that really Max Scherzer? All right, that's Max Scherzer, who's also on the Nationals. And that's a dab for this gentleman.
That's 3.
You called me out.
I
I
mean-
don't know.
Is that why everyone went, oh, because they knew that's Max
'Cause everyone in
Scherzer?
the audience was like,
Yeah.
that is Washington Nationals player Max Scherzer, not Washington Nationals player Bryce Harper. I guess that makes sense. Okay, moving on. But that's not all. They're also getting into some new stuff that we haven't heard all that much about, like prescription drugs, smart glasses, real estate, Amazon Echo inside your car, a mobile robot for your home, and of course, Alexa-powered earbuds. Oh shit, I read that wrong. I meant earbuds. Ah, fuck. Man, that would have been way cooler, but you know the Amazon Alexa-powered fucking earbud would just be the horrifying Boston Dynamics dog. That thing will kill us all. Okay, so I feel like I've kind of thoroughly been able to convince you that Amazon is massive. And now the big question here is, who cares? Why does it matter that Amazon is so big? Why could it possibly have any impact on society? Well, on the plus side, they have a ton of resources, right? They can use those resources to tackle really huge problems, specifically in the cloud computing, AI, big data space. Their cloud is much more carbon efficient than in-house enterprise solutions. 87% more, according to this Amazon-sponsored study done by 451 Research. Which is just the way it is. In 2018, Amazon Web Services had over 50% renewable energy, which is a positive thing. And Prime is super convenient. Most of us here, I would imagine, are Prime users because you gotta, though, you know? It's so cheap, it's so fast. And I mean, have you seen Fleabag? I haven't, but people on Twitter fucking love it. Wow.
You haven't seen Fleabag?
No.
It's amazing.
I was watching.
Mark just found out who Lady Gaga is. Like we can't hold him to this standard.
That's true. That's true. I really like the poker song.
You continue your
This
presentation.
is my poker face. Do I have a good hand? Okay. But many people think that their size is actually a hindrance to competition. For instance, AWS has a track record of copying their competitors and then giving away those features of their competitors for free to their customers. And where they don't hinder competition, they certainly gatekeep it. Netflix, for example, pretty much uses Amazon Web Services for all of its computing and data storage needs, while Amazon offers the same service. And that feels like a business relationship that seems fair and I trust it. I'm impartial. Prime one-day shipping is super convenient, like I said. But the company's recent shift in the past couple of months to allow small things like floss or an eye makeup brush to be delivered in one day is super bad for the environment. Who needs floss from a one-day delivery? Fuck you, dentists! A huge company like this commands an enormous workforce, and when Amazon is the only game in town, workers don't really have much leverage to fight for their rights. Warehouse workers are commonly classified as Class M or Class Q employees with very little paid time off and inflexible hours. Protesters have a tendency to get fired or otherwise silenced. Me? I'm a Class X employee. So if I had to tell you, if I could tell you what I did, I'd have to fuck you. Pretty good joke, right?
Yeah, that was
excellent.
awesome.
Thank you. This guy looks like Dan Licata. Okay, we're moving on. Their delivery services, the third-party delivery services that they don't employ, are given so little money and so many packages that often they can't afford things like good vehicles, or they have to skimp on simple things like safety training, which leads to really devastating outcomes like death, including the death of Amazon's first CFO, Joy Covey. She was run over while she was biking in San Francisco. The fact that her death did nothing to change Amazon's policy on delivery is a really bitterly ironic example of why they put the customer first. Cities and states in our country bend over backwards to get Amazon here. It was just released that New York City was going to give $800 million more in incentives to Amazon to get them to have HQ2 in Long Island City, making the total over $3 billion in taxpayer money. And that's not even the biggest offer for HQ2. Montgomery County, Maryland, offered $8.5 billion. There's no way that that would ever pay off. That's almost the GDP of Fiji, which is a country that's really nice. Okay. With so much power in all these cities and states, it's no wonder that they're one of the most powerful lobbyists in Washington. Hell, in some cases, they're even writing their own laws, which, again, I gotta say, seems fair, and I trust it. It's not just the US where Amazon has so much power. They operate in 5 continents, from China all the way to Brazil. And just last week, Jeff Bezos announced on his trip to India that they're going to invest $1 billion into small businesses in India right after the Indian government began an investigation into anti-competitive practices. That's a pretty cool tagline, though. Operating in 5 continents, under investigation in 3. Cool. Australia, you're next. So much depends on Amazon that when they go out of service, we feel it. In March of 2018, Amazon Web Services had a minor disruption and almost half the internet just went away. We're going to be talking more about what it's like to live without Amazon with guests Kashmir Hill and Dhruv Mehrotra later this evening. Yeah. I like that sound that you make.
Thank you.
Their online store is so massive that it's become very hard for them to regulate it. The Wall Street Journal, even though this is a clipping from Ars Technica because I was paywalled, recently found that people are literally selling garbage on the platform. Bookstore fraud is rampant on the site. People will make fraudulent books with misleading book titles. Here is the last name of an author spelled wrong on a New York Times best-selling book. Obviously, Ring has its fair share of security flaws that Caroline will be going into later. Their facial recognition software shows signs of gender and racial bias. Even the reviews are rife with fraud. And I mean, somehow this is real. After all of that, they actually sell uranium ore. This is the real thing. I have to say, though, that the number one comment for this goes to Yeah. I got a free cat in the box with this purchase, but I'm not sure if I should open it to see if the cat is okay. That's a Schrodinger's cat ref, y'all. Dab. Okay, so many of us use Amazon. So many of us use Amazon and its web of other products that they know a lot about us. And their facial recognition software is extremely powerful. And they sell it to the police. Some conversations with Alexa are openly listened to by Amazon employees, but that's, I think, the least of our worries, because if my experience with Alexa is any indication, all of the recordings are just, "I didn't say Alexa!" And then clarifying what you said, something like Alaska or I'll ask her or something like that. Okay. So I feel like at this point I've given you ample evidence as to how their size affects society. And again, we're going to ask the question, who cares, right? Why, are people trying to do anything about this? Companies are all bad, right? You could say that Ben & Jerry's is bad, probably. I don't know. I know nothing about their delicious company. Well, yeah, some people are doing stuff. Workers are protesting certain policies and even trying to unionize in some cases. Employees spoke out about their lack of action on climate change recently, as well as Amazon's involvement with ICE and the company Palantir that helps people at the border. Not the people who are hurting. Warehouse workers are demanding paid time off, and they're unionizing, something Amazon is desperately trying to stifle. In a leaked video to Gizmodo, Amazon tells this to warehouse managers: "You would never threaten to close your building just because associates joined a union. But you might need to talk about how having a union could hurt innovation, which could hurt customer obsession, which could ultimately threaten the building's continued existence." So, say it with me now. That seems fair, and I trust it. Yes, yes.
How trust is it? Sorry. I just wanted to be popular.
No, you're killing it. I appreciate you. Some legislators are stepping in. The House Judiciary Committee is investigating Amazon on antitrust grounds, though the antitrust laws in our country are written to protect consumers from price gouging. Amazon famously keeps their prices super low, so that's going to be a tricky court case, especially since Amazon, along with Google, Facebook, and Apple, have all very recently moved big offices into Hudson Yards, which just so happens to be under the jurisdiction of Gerald Nadler, the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, the very person who's heading these investigations. This is such a crazy little coincidence that has nothing to do with it. The Democratic presidential candidate hopeful Bernie Sanders introduced the Stop Bezos Act to Congress, which has no hope of passing. The major campaign promise by Democratic presidential candidate hopeful Elizabeth Warren is to break up big tech, though not all of the Democratic people, like this guy, think that's a good idea. And at this point, I do want to point out, perhaps it would be helpful to just say that while they do keep prices low for consumers, Amazon paid $0 in income tax on more than $11 billion in profit in 2018, and actually received $129 million in a tax rebate. That's true. So they definitely are costing us money, and I, 5 years ago, after making $20,000 as a comedian, did get an audit. So it's a fair life we live in. Amazon started as the online bookstore and relentlessly built their way into every conceivable corner of our lives. Some subtly, and some not so subtly. They're a force of nature that's only gaining mass by the second. And in order for things to change course, it's going to need a huge groundswell of public support, which might mean sacrificing some of the convenience that they offer us. Or it might mean some random billionaire across the planet fucking some shit up in a way we don't see coming. Like, I don't know what's going on this week, you guys. I didn't have any time to talk about this. But hey, maybe the billionaires will kill each other. I don't know.
Is it possible that's the same person?
It's like, what's the last Pierce Brosnan James Bond?
Die Another Tomorrow or something?
Yeah, it's got to be Die Another Tomorrow, where the guy's whole face melts off and then he builds himself a new face, and the only way...
That's Face Off. No, I'm just joking. Yeah.
Anyway, that's the end of the presentation, everybody. So does everybody feel like they understand? Anybody here not clear what Amazon.com is? Okay. I'm very excited to welcome our next guest to the stage. Are you ready for your first guest of the evening? Oh, man. Well, I fell in love with her reporting at Vice. She now works at Buzzfeed News. Please welcome to the stage Caroline Haskins, everybody. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry, that's my fault. No, here, I got it. You didn't see anything!
Stop looking!
Stop looking, everybody! Okay, cool. Caroline, everybody.
Woo!
You didn't see anything. Okay. Okay, so I'm here to talk about Ring. And if you don't know what Ring is, then, well, I thought I'd start with stories like these. You've probably seen some of these viral stories that have been coming around lately where someone captures someone usually delivering a package or a mail, and they leave out like a gift basket, and then they share it on social media, and it's supposed to be a very woke thing. But the thing is, these kinds of things didn't really happen until pretty recently, and this is because we're living in a pretty particular historical moment when surveillance smart home devices are pretty much more available than ever. And one of the most crucial players in that space is Ring. So Ring is owned by Amazon. That's why we're here. Amazon acquired Ring in 2018, and they have their flagship product is the doorbell camera that you see right there. They also offer cameras that go inside the house and outside the house, and they have a so-called neighborhood watch app called Neighbors, where the idea is you share all the footage that you get on your app, and you upload it, and you talk about, why everything in your neighborhood is suspicious. Yeah, so yeah, I think in order to explain like what Ring is, I thought I would like backtrack a little bit. So Ring actually started out as this company called Doorbot, and Doorbot's really interesting because it actually was pretty much selling itself as like a smart home product for the doorbell. It wasn't really a home surveillance product. It was more of something where you just see who's at your front door, and that's it. And it was created by this guy called Jamie Siminoff. And the best way that I can describe him is like he's like an entrepreneur, but not really like the CEO type. Like you kind of like you understand like who Jeff Bezos is. So this guy more defines himself as like an inventor. Like he came up with a bunch of ideas before he came up with Ring. But yeah, he primarily considers himself an entrepreneur. So then Doorbot comes onto the scene. So it kind of, you can see it bears some resemblance to the Ring that I just showed you, but it's kind of rounder. It's like not as good looking. It's a little uglier. And so yeah, so I have some excerpts from the ads here. So the whole idea is like, the whole smart home convenience narrative is that it's going to make your life easier. You can lounge by the pool, sit on the couch, talk to your kids. But then they were running out of money, basically. And so they had this really great chance to appear on a show that you might know called Shark Tank. And let me figure out how to pull this up on the screen here. Is this appearing?
I think it's, you pull it over this way. Hey, Mark. Mark.
Oh, no. Okay,
Yeah,
so what's on the screen?
We need to get what's on the screen on
Oh.
this screen.
I'm not the only person who's not comfortable with this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we did it! Wow.
That's it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna hang out here.
Hey, there's another Mark.
Cuban. Okay, wait. Oh, no.
This is no. It's cool.
Mark, just a little backstory. In the green room before the show, Mark was like, I got this whole new system. I'm not mirroring it. It's going to make everything way
Said I've never been
easier."
less stressed in my life.
Yeah.
I'm still not stressed. I am in control. Okay, great.
So basically, he goes to this whole pitch, and I really just want to show this 15-second clip. It's really important to me.
I'm going to be face to face with them. Now, sharks, join me, and the next time you hear, it'll be. Now, who wants to be first to ring my bell?
Jamie, what if...
Wow.
That was so worth it. Oh, I fucking... Damn it, I closed the wrong tab. Oh, no, we're good.
You got it. Imagine the moment he came up with that idea at 4 o'clock in the morning on cocaine. It's like, this is a genius.
All right, thanks for sticking with me. That was really important. Okay, so basically, then later in 2014, Ring kind of rebranded. So this is what it looked like before in 2014. This is what it looks like after. A little sharper, looks better. And then the ad strategy also changed. So like I was saying, like Doorbot sold convenience, but Ring is really selling itself as a home security product. I mean, one of the first ads that they released shows like this dramatic break-in scene, and then Jamie Siminoff is on your couch saying that he can help you. And there's actually a Ring blog that starts out with the words "fear sells." So just thought I'd point that out. And so this is from, I did a 3-part series at Ring when I was over at Motherboard, and this sentence I feel like kind of sums it up. So at its core, Ring is a marketing company that realized that it could make money by selling fear. This whole rebranding as a security company was a move for survival. And so now let's pivot to so, the reason why we're all here. So Amazon acquired Ring in 2018. That man is Jeff Bezos. And so Amazon had actually been investing in Ring in a couple of years through this venture capital arm of the company called the Alexa Fund. It actually acquired Ring for 2 main reasons. Well, I'm going to focus on 2 main reasons. One, Ring is supposed to be envisioned as this thing that's compatible with this larger ecosystem of Alexa products. So that includes like the Echo Dot and all these other things. So you want Alexa products that are inside the house and outside the house. It makes sense for Amazon, who's investing a lot of money into this, to get a product that's compatible with it. And the second part, like we've been talking about, big part of Amazon, delivering packages. The problem is that people steal them sometimes. And when people steal packages, Amazon loses money. So these are maps that I got back from a public record request from Albuquerque. So basically, Amazon keeps pretty detailed data about exactly where, how frequently, and over what period of time people are stealing packages. And so if Ring is supposed to be this outward-facing thing that especially captures people that are delivering products, I guess it makes sense. It's a concern for Amazon, so you would want a product that sits on the doorstep. So one thing that distinguishes Ring, probably one of the main things that distinguishes Ring from other home security companies, is that it partners with police departments. Like, this is literally not something that any other security product is doing, but Ring. And so this is the most current map, well, as of yesterday. So this is the map of police partnerships around the country. It is 825 as of yesterday. And so for perspective, it was 200 in April of last year. So this is just like really exploded. But here's this great thing. You can file public record requests and get it's a really cool thing. I basically just sent a bunch of public record requests. And so I'm gonna kind of broadly go through what those illuminate. So this is one of the first memorandums of understanding that I got back. And so this is what police get when they partner with Ring. They get access to this thing called the law enforcement portal. And this is what it looks like. What it looked like. It showed like the location of Ring cameras, and it has this tool where you can request footage from anyone that has a Ring camera. And so this is what people will get if police want to get your footage. But here's the important thing to note. Even if you say no, the police can just get the footage anyway. Like, they have documents that just say, like, oh, you just reach out to Ring, you ask them to save the footage, and then, you go through the process of, like, warrant, subpoena, et cetera, and you get the footage. So even though this is, like, a private security camera you're getting for your home, I mean, this is something where if the police know about it, if they want the footage, they can get it. And what Ring gets, they actually get several things. So first, in these contracts, usually there's a clause that says that you have to encourage adoption of Ring products. This means, like, literally including links to download the Neighbors app, talking about the Ring products. And often Ring will give police departments free stuff that they're supposed to, like, raffle and give away to residents. This is, like, 2 examples of that. And also, everything that the police department says about the company has to get approved by Ring first. So on the left is an example of scripts that Ring gave police of how they're supposed to talk about the company and how they're supposed to speak on Neighbors. On the right is a reactive Q&A. Like, if someone says, like, why'd you partner with this company? This is how they're supposed to speak about it. Neighbors is for crime and safety only, et cetera. And so another clause is to keep the terms of the contract secret. And I've noticed that recently, some of that clause is not in every single contract. But the thing is, Ring is just telling police over the phone. This is recent emails that I got. So this is an email from one police officer saying, Ring doesn't want us to talk about it publicly. Another cop says, okay, we won't discuss it at the city council meeting. So literally, this is something that's done, like, completely between Ring and the police. It's not something that has, like, any kind of public discussion at all, really. So why does Ring attract police? So on the right, that's actually the head of Ring's operations in Ukraine wearing a shirt that says "fuck crime." So I included that picture because this is this kind of, like, mindset that Ring wants to sell the police, that we're on your side, we're one of you. So that's why I included that. So one of Ring's celebrity spokespeople is Shaq, and
And Justin Bieber. That's cool.
Aw, that's sweet. Yeah, this is Jamie. And, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Sorry, no, that's on me. I'm sorry. I saw a curly-haired boy, and I thought it was Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber has never had curly hair. Okay.
That's
Absolutely, he has.
that's a fact. Okay.
Remember when you asked us to totally derail you in the middle of your presentation? Sorry about that.
Okay. So these are ads that Ring sent to police at this big conference called IACP, where like pretty much police departments around the country go, and they invite Ring invites police to a private party where they drink and they watch Shark Tank. And yes, they watch Jamie get rejected. That was another thing. He didn't get any money on Shark Tank. And this year, Guy Fieri was there. Why are you cheering? Sorry. So why does this matter? So I'm broadly going to go through all the things that people have found concerning recently. One's the hacks. So recently, there have been several major leaks of Ring login credentials, and if you have a username and a password, you can see like a 30 to 60-day history, all of the camera footage, etc. And people have actually been hacking into Ring cameras for fun and broadcasting it like on live podcasts. And in this example here, the family in this video is suing Ring in a potential class action lawsuit because they played tiptoe through the tulips in a child's room. Privacy more generally. So this is from a Gizmodo report. Dhruv helped worked on this. Yeah. Yeah, so basically when you post on Neighbors, it puts down your location up to up to 6 decimal points in terms of coordinates. So it's a pretty precise log of people that don't just have Ring cameras, but have other types of cameras too, and just happen to post on Neighbors. And these are maps that Ring has given police. This is from Gwinnett County, Georgia. Ring will provide these kinds of maps to police to show just how many people in their city have Ring cameras and where they are specifically. And these are things that Ring posted to its Instagram story on Halloween, showing children ringing Ring doorbells, when they were doing it, and in which cities. This was something that was considered a good thing, so that's why they shared it on Instagram. Racism, something I want to talk about here. So these are people that work for Ring. These are people that, a lot of data moderation on that Neighbors app that I've been talking about happens in Ukraine, but this is stuff that's happened at company parties. But if you can't see a sweatshirt, it says, "In machine learning we trust." Yeah. And so I want to talk a little bit about the Neighbors app itself. So it has this feature called the Neighborhood Watch List, where it shows people that the police are essentially looking for. It has a neighborhood crime report. So it essentially wants to become embedded with the way that people think about their neighborhood and think about what they find suspicious in their neighborhood. And this obviously leads to people jumping to wild conclusions. This is something where a bunch of teenagers were walking up the stairs, and then all the people in the comments were saying, "Call the police, they look like they're in a gang." This is another example. Someone was walking by the house, and they said, "I think he's plotting a robbery." And everyone was saying, "Call the police."
A robbery.
Oh.
That's lower stakes.
That was really unfair of me. I'm sorry.
He's got a nice robe for you.
Yeah. And so this is a really normal comment that someone left once. I'm going to start putting something extra in my package so when they open it, they get their fingers fall off. Sick of these people stealing my money. Where I come from, I will tie him to a pole, strip him naked, and beat the shit out of him. Let's see if he wants to steal a package next time. This is normal. This is a normal culture on this app. So I also want to talk about facial recognition because Ring has been working on developing its own in-house facial recognition. And I didn't include the image in here, but there was a recent report in The Intercept that showed that it was going to link up to that neighborhood watch list that I showed just now. And Ring is already working on, it's doing some trials in detecting people in the footage. It's heavily researching facial recognition, and this would be for customers. But the thing is, police already have facial recognition, and I've gotten, PowerPoints back from police saying, "What do we do when we have all this, home surveillance cameras lying around here? Why don't we just combine it with our own facial recognition technology?" So this is something that police are actively talking about and encouraging each other to do. worth noting. And I want to talk about what kind of communities that we are building with products like Ring, with home security products generally, because a lot of these issues that I'm talking about in terms of culture, in terms of surveillance, they're not exclusive to Ring. So essentially, what really kind of community are we building where the way that we're looking out toward the world is through this sort of like aesthetic of, surveillance cameras where, when do we usually see surveillance footage? Usually in the context of like a crime, like the local news. And this is the way that it's becoming really normalized to think about the ways that we live and the ways that we see and understand our neighbors. And that's it. This is my info. If you want to read more.
Let's give it up for Caroline, everybody. Thank you so much, Caroline. Hell yeah. Nice and scary. Wow. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Woo! So, Sam, it's bumping in the live chat.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in here, and it's honestly a little overwhelming because usually I'm used to like just your brother-in-law. So I feel like it's my birthday party and I don't know anyone here. I'm just like, thanks for coming. And by my birthday party, I mean your birthday party.
Oh, did anybody get me a present?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna move right along here. So at the end of every show, I actually turning on the power so that I get power and my laptop doesn't break. At the end of every show, I collect all your email addresses and I add you to my mailing list, just like a store would. And I'm sorry. And I basically say thank you for coming out to the show. I share a picture by my guy Arin over here, who's our photographer. Shout out to everybody in the audience. I saw some people who were former guests on the show. If you want to get your picture taken after the show, feel free to come by. And part of that email is also I ask everybody to vote on a bit that I'm going to do for the next show. And so the bit that everyone voted on was I committed to selling garbage on Amazon. So Darren, hit me with that music. So, as I mentioned earlier, the Wall Street Journal had this very, very awesome article about how lots of garbage items were showing up on the site. I got to connect with one of the reporters who wasn't able to make it for the show. And he sent me some examples that people had sent him after the article came out. Somebody bought a waffle iron that had the waffle still in it.
Bonus.
Yeah, there were a lot of people in Twitter who was just like, hell yeah, man, that's free lunch. Fuck you, Adam Smith. This person, GeForce Phoenix, said that they bought a $80 wireless Samsung charger, but it was replaced by a $20 knockoff. Somebody ordered a light-up dance mat, and when it arrived, it was just a box of used clothes. And then Nasli Sales, she has this whole, I'm not going to read this whole thing here, but basically she bought a box of diapers from Amazon, and they were soiled.
Now that is a Nasli sale.
The dad humor is strong with us tonight.
That's a dad dab.
That's a dad dab.
Thank you.
A dad dab is like taking a sip of Busch Light. Yes. Okay. So I tried to join the fun too. Here's the problem. I got approval 2 days ago. I went through a series of this might not be surprising to you, but it's a process to be a person who sells things on Amazon. You can't do it overnight. It took me a week and a half. You have to upload a picture of your passport. I just got a new passport. I forgot to sign it, and then 2 days later, they're like, you need to sign your passport and resubmit it, and you do it, and then your phone stores photos in HEIC, which I'm like, what the fuck is that extension? It needs to be a JPEG. Anyway, so I didn't get to it. I did. This is the dashboard that you're presented with no help. And I will. They did charge me the $40 for this month, so I will try to sell garbage on Amazon. But for this show, you can consider it a failure. I failed. So instead, thank you. It's important to fail. That's how we learn. I am going to do the bit, and I'll make some YouTube video about it, so like and subscribe. That's a dab. But instead, to make up for it, I'm going to show you some skull memes. So who here was at my Facebook show? Okay, so for those of you who weren't there, something that I did this, the bit that I had to do for that show is I got extremely on Facebook for a week, which meant I used every single feature of Facebook every single day for a week. It was exhausting. It really started to ruin my brain. And as part of that, I got really into groups. Now, groups are notorious for being, that's a spoiler. Groups are notorious for being like rife with toxic discourse, a lot of political hatred, and it's also extremely easy to use, which makes it so filled with boomers. So filled with boomers, and I decided it would be in poor taste to show political boomer memes tonight, because they would just make you feel angry, no matter what your political orientation is, but I can assume. You guys fuck. So, the particular corner that I got really into, I'm in over 20 skull art themed groups, and 0 of them are ironic. I just want to say, skull artwork - I love skulls is the best thing that happened to me in 2019. It's got 348.8 thousand members. We've also got Skulls and Skulls Only. Spoiler alert, they also have lots of pictures of naked women with tattoos. We got I Love Skulls, which is... Wow, I never noticed this before. It says group by I Love Skulls and Skeletor. That's a collabo effort by 2 skull guys, because they're definitely guys. We got Nothing But Skulls, and of course Skulls Pictures, which is new, I guess, and the Skull Lovers community. And so I infiltrated these, and I've been spreading my my messages of love. So I wanted to show you. So I'll read it to you. Takes real courage to be emotionally vulnerable with the ones you love. It's true. And I want to just point out, because I know that not all of you can read it, my comment is all caps, skull on. 20 likes, 1 comment, 16 shares. The comment is, won't be letting that happen again anytime soon.
Again! Again!
It is devastating to read a comment like that. The ability to change your mind is the ultimate sign of strength. For me, you can't read a skull meme in impact font without like straining your voice.
Wait, Mark, are you making these?
I made all of these. These are the ones I made. And by made, I mean like I Google image search skull art. So these are probably somebody's like hard-worked deviant art posts. And then I just slap on some things I'm feeling that day. And if I'm feeling like, like Lin-Manuel Miranda, you know what I'm saying? My comment here has changed my mind. 75 likes and hearts. Okay, you only get one body. Take good care of it. These comments are devastating. True statement. I know this now and I wish I would have. Going under the knife in 3 hours. What are you doing on Facebook? hours you're going under the knife.
They're trying to take their mind off of it. Have you checked back in with Donovan Duckhofer King?
I don't know, man.
This is 11 weeks ago. He might be dead.
I am here for a good time, not a long one. Yes, do take care of your body. It's the only one you got. I am learning the hard way.
I say make all of those shirts.
Oh my God.
I mean,
Yes.
couldn't that just be him being like, uh-oh, packed on a couple pounds since high school. Oh, boy.
No, no.
Paul Flaherty over here.
No, he's dying.
Okay.
It's easy to hate the people you don't know. No, hold on. Sorry, let me do this again. It's easy to hate people you don't know. And my comment is, if you think love wins, give me a skull on. And you better believe I got some skull ons.
That's 100%.
Skull on!
And I would like to point out that my ex-boyfriend did comment
I
on
know,
this one.
I know.
What?
He texted me. He did text me afterwards, and he went, "Nice skull pros, bro."
Skull on, bro.
Skull on, my brother. The people in charge want us to hate each other. That was my kind of conspiracy thing, but the comments here are worth it. Till death, my family. That's right. That's right. What Greg Rustin is going for here is we don't hate each other. Us skull lovers, we are the real family. This is true. Our country has never been so divided, but yet united.
Skull on.
Skull on, my brother. Our planet is dying. And this skull is smoking a cigarette into another cigarette.
I just want to point out for anyone joining the live stream now, they're like, ooh, a show about Amazon, and we are just looking at pictures of skulls.
Yeah, because I failed, okay? I just wanted to get a laugh. Nothing is more badass than human beings treating each other with love and kindness. Skull on, my brother. Hate is easy, love is hard. Hashtag skulls out. Okay, and then finally, here's a little treat. Here's a link to the best tweet I've ever made. If you don't follow me on Twitter or TikTok, now's your chance. I'm gonna, thank you, Callahan. Here we go, hold on. Hold on. I gotta get this full screened in here. First of all, the caption is, Cats 2019 was totally unrealistic. Here's a better opening. And yes, I did go to see Cats very high. And I loved it. Okay, here we go. Wow. Yeah, we're doing it.
Are you blind when you're born?
So, that's
He's
me.
married, he is married, he is married, yeah.
That's your favorite comment. Okay, are we ready for our next two
Surprise
guests of the evening? Oh, wow. Well, I'm so excited for this. Andrew Colson, can you help me get some chairs? I need 3 chairs if possible. Before I bring these people up, there he is. There's our floor manager. Let's give it up for floor manager, Andrew Colson. All these people by the bar are like, you have chairs? And he's like, oh, no. Okay, so Raleigh and Sam, you're giving up your chairs.
Done.
Okay, cool. Because we have a
You'll
pregnant
pay
lady
for
coming
this,
on
Mark.
stage. Okay, we're gonna make it like this, and I'm just gonna take a knee. Okay, so I'm very excited to introduce these folks to the stage. I don't know what you're doing here. Oh, we do have chairs. Okay, we got one here. I'll take that one. No, you keep your foot. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take this chair.
Hey, Mark, remember when you stole our chairs?
Now
didn't
we look
forget
cool.
It. Yeah.
This is something we planned on purpose.
Yeah. We planned this out to the T.
The tea 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Skull on.
Skull on,
Skull
brother.
on, my brother.
Yeah, we could be mad, but we're gonna choose love, Mark.
So I'd like to welcome to the stage two people who really fucking kick ass. Both of them used to work at Gizmodo. One of them still works at Gizmodo. One of them is joining us from the New York Times. Please welcome to the stage Kashmir Hill and Dhruv Mehrotra, everybody. What's up, Dhruv? Here we go. Cool. What's up, y'all? Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
So I invited these two to the stage. I don't know if anybody here is aware here. Paula, can we get the projector off for now? Kashmir did a piece for Gizmodo where you lived off, like without each of the big tech platforms for a week at a time, right?
Yeah, I cut all the tech giants out of my life.
So I want to talk about what it was like to cut Amazon out of your life and how Dhruv was involved with that.
All right.
Cool.
So I started with Amazon because I thought it would be the hardest one to cut out of my life. And I write about privacy. And
You had a really cool article come out this week about Clearview AI,
I'm very...
which was really very fun and uplifting.
Yeah, I mean, we would have liked to have done a presentation, but I've been busy growing a human being inside me.
Yeah,
and
I cannot believe that you said yes to do this.
I hope you have a Prime delivery.
Wait a minute, hold on a
It better
second.
not take 2 days, that's what I'm saying.
But if it does, you get $1 free Amazon Prime
Okay.
credit. So.
Hold on a second, Raleigh.
What's up?
Sam already made that joke on our email chain.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Are you serious that you didn't see that?
he stole the joke.
No,
Yeah.
he saw it.
I hate to tell you this, but I do not read those email chains.
Okay, that's fine. That doesn't surprise me.
Okay, yeah, so I've been busy. But I write about privacy. I've been writing about privacy for 10 years, and I criticize the tech giants a lot.
Sure.
And people always say, well, they offer these great products. Oftentimes they're free. If you don't like them, just don't use them. And so I wanted to find out if that was possible to do, and was trying to figure out how I could go about kind of doing a boycott of the companies. And so I came to Dhruv and I said, how can I, totally cut the companies out of my life? Because I know that we interact with them invisibly kind of all the time because I'm a tech reporter. And so Dhruv went away and did some thinking.
Yeah, so I mean, in my past life, before I was a data reporter, computer boy at Gizmodo Media.
Data reporter / computer boy.
Yeah, investigative computer boy. I was working on open source cellular communications.
Okay.
And open source wireless communications. So I'd been thinking a lot about internet infrastructure and how to push back against corporate consolidation and the kind of shit that we've been talking about all night.
Yeah.
So when Cash approached me about this project, I was like really pumped, right? Because I think a lot about how signals travel over wires, and that's essentially what this task was, right? It's not just blocking Amazon.com, but blocking all of the different IP addresses and sort of network space that Amazon operates in.
Well,
And so you came up with a pretty simple solution, right?
Yeah, it's essentially a firewall, just a really big one.
So Dhruv told me that all of the tech companies actually publish lists of the IP addresses that they control. And he said, I can just, make this tool for you that blocks their IP addresses, and then they're out of your life. It ended up being a little bit more complicated than that. But yeah, basically he created this VPN for me. I would connect my devices to it, and it would, when we were blocking Amazon, we just blocked all of their IP addresses, and then it would mean, their services, they wouldn't get my data, the things I tried to access from them wouldn't work, et cetera, et cetera. So that was the setup for the experiment.
So that was the setup. Now let's talk about the execution a little bit here. I watched the video, but I can assume not everybody here saw it and everything. What were some of the? Was it challenging? Was it challenging at all?
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of, in my family, we were a little bit Amazon addicts.
Okay.
So I had an Amazon Prime credit card that I had to put away. Had to get rid of Kindles. We had Amazon Prime on our TV. We had an Amazon Echo and an Amazon Echo Dot.
Oh, wow.
yeah, we had all the things. We shopped at Whole Foods a lot.
Yeah, same.
And yeah, we were like, with the Echo, I was like, I was like, Dhruv, what should I do? I don't know how to get the Echo out of the house and make sure we don't use it. Like, I'm afraid if I unplug it, my husband will just plug it back in, or like the nanny will plug it back in. And I was like, maybe I could put a Post-it note on it that said, like, don't use this. And Dhruv was like, why don't you just put it in a cabinet? And I was like, oh, I couldn't imagine actually removing the Echo because it was such a part of our house.
Yeah, wow.
And then, stop using Amazon.com.
Okay.
And I thought that would be the hardest part because I've kind of forgotten how to do online shopping anywhere else but in the Amazon app. But the hardest part ended up being Amazon Web Services.
Ah, okay. So we know that they are the backbone of so many different websites. So, like, what was some of the struggle for you? What were, like, the websites that were most difficult?
I mean, everything. How many IP addresses did Amazon control?
We blocked 23 million. Well, that's how many IP addresses I've,
That's a big number,
more,
yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So basically, Slack went down, so I could no longer talk to my colleagues.
Oh, no! That's so bad! Oh, man, that must have been bad.
Shockingly, there are some benefits to cutting yourself off from
Sure.
technology.
What? Okay, I'm done.
The hard thing, though, was entertainment. So Netflix stopped working, HBO Go stopped working. Obviously, Amazon Prime didn't work. Basically, like every entertainment option, we only listen to music through the Amazon Echo. So even though Spotify uses Google Cloud, we couldn't really access that. And so the house just became really quiet. And my then 1-year-old, 2-year-old, I can't remember how old she had just started getting obsessed with movies, so she would just cry all the time, like, I want to watch The Incredibles.
Oh, no.
I want to watch Coco, and she didn't understand why.
And you don't have a DVD player.
I actually did have a DVD player. There's this weird perk. If you're in the Writers Guild, you get to you get movies that are in theaters so that you can watch them and vote on who should get best screenplay and best adapted screenplay. So anyways, we
I'm in
had
SAG,
DVDs.
so I get a similar kind of thing.
Yeah. So that was kind of awesome. But I'm trying to think of what else went down. It was like everything went down. They're just
SAG is the Screen Actors Guild. So.
Yeah, I mean.
That was in the Kentucky Fried Chicken commercial. That
So,
never
like, I
made
think
it.
a lot of, like, apps and sites.
Sorry, Dhruv. Sorry,
No,
my
no, it's
moment is
fine.
still happening.
You could do that more often. A lot of apps and sites were broken, right? Like, we talked about Netflix and other entertainment. But I think something that was really interesting for me, especially because I wasn't directly experiencing the horror that Cash felt. I actually was more inflicting that horror on Cash. But, when I was, playing with the software, so we built some software to block Amazon or packets to Amazon. And something that I thought was really surprising was just how strange your phone and your computer would behave when this thing is turned on.
Oh.
Because your phone is just constantly reaching out to all the apps on your phone are just sort of constantly reaching out to make a connection to their respective servers. And when they can't have that connection, your phone gets hot, the battery dies really quickly, and it's like, it feels cruel, like you're depriving an animal of oxygen or something. And
Wow.
Yeah, it's awful. And it's I think those are some of the more interesting experiences that I saw with it.
I mean, it was just like all of my apps went down. Like, I couldn't check the child care surveillance app that told me when my daughter had, like, eaten or peed or pooped and, very essential information to my life. It was just, nothing worked. And I also struggled. It wasn't just the internet. Like, I had to buy things sometimes. I needed like a little one of those phone holders that you put in like the air conditioning vents of your car.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And so
where would you get one of those?
I was like, where else
Staples?
do you buy things? I did discover that Walmart's site worked. They do not use AWS. I think 'cause they don't want
don't.
Go
Walmart's fantastic.
Don't.
3 cheers for Walmart.
Yeah. The Waltons are good.
I think they don't want Amazon getting, competitive intelligence. And eBay worked. So I ordered, a cheap little plastic thing from eBay. And then 2 days later, I get back to my apartment building lobby, and there is an Amazon envelope with my name on it. And I go upstairs, open it, and there is my phone holder. And the eBay seller uses fulfillment by Amazon, and they store all their products in Amazon warehouses, and Amazon sells it and ships it for them. So it was impossible to avoid.
Oh, so Amazon owns the fulfillment center, but they don't own the shipping company.
It was eBay. I mean, it's basically because Amazon so dominates storage and shipping in the world now. It's much cheaper if you're an eBay seller just to use Amazon to store and ship your product.
Very cool.
Yeah, and then very cool. My husband came home with lunch one day, and I start eating it. It's sushi, and then I look down, and it's from Whole Foods. And I was like, ugh, do I have to vomit this up? But I decided I wasn't that dedicated to it.
No.
But yeah, it was very difficult.
Wow.
And it was Gizmodo. So I worked at Gizmodo at the time, and I was like, oh yay, Gizmodo's site still works. I wonder who we use to host our data, host our cloud. So I checked in with the tech team, and they're like, oh yeah, we use AWS. And so I was wondering, why is the site working? And that's when we discovered that there was a problem with our blocker.
Oh, so Dhruv.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, come on, Drew. What the
23
fuck?
million and one.
So it turns out that a lot of sites will, because it's easier, it's faster to deliver content through these things called CDNs, which are essentially distributed servers all around the world.
Cloud delivery networks?
Cloud delivery networks, right. Even though the content of a site might actually live on Amazon servers and be updated on Amazon servers, infrastructure is such that they'll push it out to all, that Gizmodo will push the content to all these CDNs around the country so that, when Cash is browsing Gizmodo from San Francisco, it'll hit this CDN server instead of Amazon.
So I like to think of it as there's big warehouses where all the data is, and then there's storefronts where the data gets kind of pushed out or sold. And so we were seeing the storefront was a company called Fastly. So our tool was seeing Fastly's IP addresses, and so the Amazon information was just sneaking in. So what I found is that, to be a normal person in the world, it is impossible to avoid Amazon, that they will get through somehow.
Wow. That's good.
Because it's good, and I trust it.
It's fair, and I trust it. It's fair. So Dhruv actually set up the VPN on my phone before the show, and I wanted to just quickly demonstrate what it's like to try to use my phone, and then also Paula can switch over to the.
Your flashlight's on, Mark. You dope.
That's a
God,
dad
maybe
dab.
I am 900. What the hell? How did my flashlight get out? My flashlight. Why does my back hurt? Hey, Anthony, could you give me a Bush Light? That smells my uncle's beer. Okay, so what'd you say? Dad dab. Thank you. Dad dab is a new meme.
Excuse me, that was actually in the email chain earlier. So,
Okay, is it on? Okay, this is what my phone looks like. Okay, so we can assume that Google Maps. Okay, that works. Heaven's Hot Bagel, not bad.
how did you not do the open the 12 windows thing on your phone?
That was such a good missed opportunity.
Okay, everybody take a second right now and imagine that he did that.
It's getting late.
Okay.
Next time. We'll do the same exact show tomorrow.
Wait, let's just do a test
I'm
case here.
impressed.
Can you just go to Amazon.com?
Okay, I'm gonna go
I'm
to
just
Amazon.
I'm just
by
curious
how
if
many
it's on.
New York Times apps are on your home screen.
Yeah, I like their cooking app.
Yeah.
And their reporting. And your reporting. Yes, I like the New York Times. I used to, the only game on my phone is the crossword. Otherwise I'm gone.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I got my Switch for games. Okay, so it doesn't work, and so we've established that Amazon doesn't work. Okay, so what's
Somebody can't remember. Does Uber work?
Okay, we'll try Uber. Uber's in my travel basket. Okay, I understand.
Okay, Uber still
Get-
works. They
get
must
outta
be
here.
using.
I gotta
Uber-
unlock those savings, right?
When I blocked Google, I couldn't use Uber because if
Okay.
you don't have access to the Google map, you
Let me
can't
try
use it.
Merlin Bird ID. We got any birders in the house? Let's just assume I see a crow-sized bird that's black and white and yellow around here, eating at a feeder. What kind of birds are? Yep, it works.
Yeah.
This is my bird.
That's the Cooper's hawk. That is not my bird.
Remember
Okay.
when there wasn't enough time to do that opening bit?
Okay, does Twitter work? All right. here we
That's
go.
my bird.
Whoa, 19 notifications? Very cool.
I like how everything just works.
Okay. This is the Twitter app. Okay, I'm gonna try TikTok, which is
Twitch
obviously.
is probably
gonna-
not going to work.
I'm embarrassed to show you what my For You page will look like. Okay, let's see here. I guess a lot of these probably do work.
MTA, I don't know.
New York Times cooking
Maybe they all have CDNs that they're using.
works. Okay, works. man.
Let's go to Fastly.
Does Twitch work? Let's go check. Well, I can't tell if this is an Amazon problem or not, to be honest with you. That's a really, that's, okay. Okay, well, we'll just go through all my gig economy
Oh,
LOL ones.
Airbnb, I think, did not
We're
work.
gonna try Lyft. Okay. Well, Lyft is acting a little
TGIF.
funky. Where am I going?
Even Lyft is burning you in your own show.
I almost put my fucking address. Okay, this
I
might
think-
work actually.
I don't know. Shouldn't it be popping up? I don't.
So it's
But
it's
the
working,
Google-
but it's also not working.
Well, the Google map is working, but it's not able to pull up the data about where cars are.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So the Google map works because that's from Google, but information about where cars are and your ability to hail one doesn't work.
So if you
validly.
go to the
Yeah, Paula, can you show us how many have been blocked? How many IP addresses have been blocked? Wow. Okay, so it's Lyft uses AWS, I guess.
Yeah.
So it seems, yeah.
Wow, very cool. Okay, let's try Airbnb. And my phone is getting hot. I'll tell you that.
Is it?
Oh, let's see what's in my inbox. It'll be fine. Have a good rest of your stay. Oh, I spilled on the tablecloth. There's a lot of soy sauce. This is surprisingly okay. Oh, he says. What are the fresh deals? I use Fresh Direct, no offense.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
Anyways, a lot of stuff didn't work for me.
Okay, well, this is really cool.
Maybe my report convinced all these companies to get off AWS. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, hell yeah, maybe. Yeah, okay, I want to try one last one. I guess just for fun, do I still have the Twitch app? I do. We're going to open up the Twitch app, which will probably... Oh, we got to watch the Bob Ross. Well, if this works...
I
If
think there
there's-
might be something
Yeah, that VPN
amiss
maybe isn't working.
with the tool. It's
Okay, so
definitely
we've identified
shouldn't
a
work.
problem with the tool.
Yeah. Come on, Drew.
Well, okay, in my defense, I think they update the IP addresses pretty frequently. I have no idea when I last pulled in the most recent IP addresses. So sorry, guys.
But that's cool. It's very cool. Can you just show us one last time how many IPs I mean, it's still happening. I don't know what is happening on my phone.
Right. So I think a lot of times too, even if the app mostly functions, some resources are being blocked. Like maybe it's the fonts are rendering differently, or an image isn't loading, and that could be what you're seeing.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
Though
even
it's
open up
settled.
Slack. Like, Slack is an obvious one. You're going to see a lot of, or you might not, communication with my brother Ben.
You guys use Slack to communicate?
Yeah, we have a family. I actually have
You have a
both my
family
families
Slack?
are on Slack.
That is so
My-
weird.
It is so cool. And my immediate family has 17 people in it. So that's like enough for a team.
Yeah.
Okay, so Slack doesn't work.
Slack doesn't work.
We're ending on a high note. Let's give it up for Kashmir and Dhruv, everybody! Thank you so much. This was awesome. Yeah, I'll take that. No, don't apologize. That was awesome. Okay, that was super cool. Here, I'm going to give you this. Okay, so we have one final treat for you all this evening. How's everybody doing? Wow, what a fantastic evening I'm having. This is really fun. I do want to show you, this is so fucking cool. I'm going to show you something that I
Are you talking about my orb lamp that I bought on Amazon?
All right,
I brought it
Sam,
'cause
you've
I
been
love
talking
it.
about the orb lamp. Show us the orb lamp.
Listen, Mark, he texted, he said, any good Amazon stories? And I said, well, I bought a plastic orb lamp, and it's awesome, but then I forgot the remote to turn it on, so see me after the show. Awesome. Yes.
Let's give it up for the orb lamp. You have to clap for the orb lamp.
Thank you.
Okay, so this last bit, and I encourage you, if you feel compelled for this last bit, you can get up, get a drink, tip our bartenders, Anthony and John. So I don't know if you knew this, but Amazon has a ranking system for reviewers that is, as everything became in like 2007, it was gamified, right? It was probably gamified well before 2007 to incentivize people to write a lot of reviews and write them really well. And in addition to having a top reviewers list, they have a Hall of Fame. And I had a Skype interview with the #1 Hall of Fame Amazon reviewer. And I'd like to show you a cut down of our interview right now. And I promise you, I'm not gonna tell you anything about it because you seem already excited for it. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. This is my interview with Joanna Dannemann, everybody. Buddenbrooks is the most autobiographical of Mann's works, and the one that most of all earned Mann the Nobel Prize for Literature. Mann grew up in a prosperous Lubick family, son of a merchant father who died in 1891, the dissolution of the family firm, the artistic Southern Creole background of Mann's mother, and the struggle between the materialistic merchant side and the wild artistic side are the backdrop for a deep regret, maybe even self-recrimination for the family's ultimate decline. No, this isn't the New York Times book review. This is an Amazon review. But it's not just any Amazon review. It's written by...
I'm Joanna Dannemann. I'm an Amazon reviewer like millions of other people. There is a ranking system. At the moment, I'm number 16. Because I had been a long time ago the #1, and also because I was in the top 10 for a number of years, I'm ranked as the #1 Hall of Famer. So I'm kind of like Tiger Woods. Making a comeback.
Joanna has written over 5,000 reviews and counting, which have garnered over 88,000 helpful votes. I Skyped with Joanna to figure out how she got there. And while I never expected the story would involve cutthroat competition, a fan club, a crazy donkey, and meeting Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos in person, the most unexpected piece of the whole story is Joanna's attitude towards the whole thing. How did you get into this world?
I was living in Germany.
Oh.
Yes, I had a job over there with my firm. Reading books in German isn't as enjoyable for me as it is reading in English, because in English I can read really fast. So, getting tired of reading German, I would order books from Amazon US. The issue was figuring out which books I wanted because the sample they give you isn't enough. Yeah, a few pages, and I couldn't tell. But who does tell you if the book is good is the other reviewers. 50 pages, I'm into this book, and I'm getting nowhere. Now, that's a book review I just read of a book by Salman Rushdie. And I'm thinking, do I want to read it? And this guy says it's 50 pages, and I'm still confused. And I'm thinking, maybe not. So I would read the reviews. And then it occurred to me that I could do reviews too, because I'd read a few books. I'd probably read at least 5,000 books because I read a lot. So I said, okay, I'll sit down and I'll write a review. And the other thing I like to do is write, and I write really quickly. So I just picked a book out of the air and I wrote a review of it. And back then it didn't matter if you actually owned the book and bought it from Amazon, you just reviewed a book that was in the library or anywhere. So I started reviewing every book I ever read. So this would have been in 99. And there was also a forum of people who would discuss the reviews and their reviewing, and there were quite a few interesting characters. It got to be a free-for-all. Oh yeah, you know what I'm talking about. This gets better, this gets better. I'm telling you, it gets better. So this community forms on their platform, and lots of discussions. So there'd be discussions about books, there'd be literary discussions, there would be discussions about reviewing, there would be just free-for-all stupid discussions. And I got to be friends with quite a few people. You will not believe it, but I am still very good friends with a lot of them to this day. So it's 20 years. And Amazon became aware of this discussion board discussing reviewing, making reviewing better. What are you reviewing? What are you reading? What are you doing? What's wrong with the system? And they invited some of the more prominent reviewers who were in the top tier. We were invited to a forum in 2004 to go to Seattle and sit down with Amazon and talk about reviewing in general, because they felt they would like to create a community, sort of a village green, where reviewing helped people come to the site to get good information. And then, of course, you might stay and click on a few things and put them in your shopping basket and check out. There was somebody who was living in Germany, but in a different part who I hadn't met. There were people from Seattle. There were people from the East Coast, people from Illinois, people from everywhere. And two of them got married.
Oh my gosh! So it's
And
like
yeah,
you've met Jeff Bezos.
I did. Yeah.
Wow. Was he nice?
He kind of flew around the room at top speed, made some very interesting comments, which I really can't repeat because we did say we would keep the meeting confidential, but it was good. And I did notice he has really large feet.
Wow. Okay, cool. Is he tall?
Yeah, he seems to be tall. I was seated at the time, so I'm tall, so I couldn't measure him against me, but he seemed tall.
When they brought you out to Amazon, did that kind of legitimize your experience? Were you like, okay, I feel like I belong to something here?
No, I think the forum had legitimized it, and also the ranking. So that was already a thing, as the word is these days, right? It's a thing. Is that
A thing, yeah.
a thing? That's a thing. Yes, it was a thing. There was one non-reviewing section of the forum which was absolutely hysterical. A woman wrote stories about her evil donkey, and I didn't save them, but the donkey stories, the donkey went in and trashed and nearly ate baby Jesus because they decided to use a live baby, and that was a really poor decision, and it went from bad to worse. And she still has the donkey, and it does these things. I know, and that was just one of the threads on the Amazon forum. So they're going on, and there would be all this ridiculous stuff. So finally, Amazon said, "This is a really bad corporate image."
Yeah, sure.
I think it was the donkey personally that did it. The donkey trashing the nativity. That's my own. So 2020 is a different world than 2002.
As the number of Amazon users increased and more people were writing reviews, sometimes fraudulently, Amazon needed some sort of way to organize which reviews were best.
And then it got very interesting because there were positive votes and negative votes. There was votes, yes, this review is helpful, and no, this review is not helpful. So you'd think that'd be fairly clear cut. I was helped, I got information that was useful to me, or no, I didn't get any information that was useful to me.
Yeah.
But no. Of course not.
The internet
Humans interpret that as, you wrote a helpful review about a book that praises President Trump. Boom. I'm downvoting you.
Oh, I see.
Or I didn't like the product and you did. You know, I used this hair cream and my hair fell out. It was falling out anyway, but we won't talk about that. Or you don't like me because I'm getting ahead of you in the rankings, and negative votes really did count against you, which you could pretty much figure out. So negative votes really did count against you. Well, once that news got out, it was like, oh, I have a competitor who's near me in the rank and I could be in the top 10. Downvote that sucker.
Oh, wow. So it became like a competitive sport that, like I never even thought that this could be competitive.
Well, like roller derby, you know, you trip somebody. Only in roller derby, that's good because that's what everybody wants to see.
Despite the cutthroat jockeying for top 10, Joanna managed to stay on top. And she even managed to attract a following.
So one day some people showed up at my house. Yes, at my house. And one guy tatted up right and left, really, the type of person my mother would like. And and hi, we're your fans. Really? Well, would you like some tea?
So you were like an influencer in a way.
I was one of the early influencers, but I didn't think about monetizing because I was really busy doing some other things that were more important.
Hold on. You got to hear that a second time.
I was one of the early influencers, but I didn't think about monetizing because I was really busy doing some other things that were more important.
That is a dunk. You burnt influencers.
You entered this world as an avid reader. Now, I've seen your profile and you're reviewing all sorts of things. How did that transition manifest?
All right, so that's phase 2, right?
Okay.
So, within a few years, they started selling products. So, of course, you could go through your closets and review everything from anywhere that was sold on Amazon that was a duplicate of it. It was the same model. At that time, they wanted the information on the site. Well, then they started having third-party sellers. So the third-party vendors started contacting the top reviewers and saying, hey, if I send you a box of our suppositories or whatever. I have a bad sense of humor, so if you have to edit that out, I understand.
Oh, I love that. I want that.
And you test them and then write about your experience. And hopefully you'll give us a favorable review. We would really love it if, you liked them. We will, you can have this free stuff. And it got ridiculous. I mean, it got to the point where there were so many emails like, would you please review, any and everything, but never anything you'd want. So then a lot of people were trying to get into the top rank so that they would get these emails.
I see.
Then Amazon started a program called Vine where they would send you free stuff. So they have vendors sign up and the vendors have to put product in inventory designated for reviewers, and they will offer it to you. And those are labeled clearly at what kind of review they are.
She's in the Hall of Fame at number 1. She has a fan club. She gets free stuff in order just to review it. How does this all make her feel?
So how does the status of number 1 Hall of Famer from Amazon Reviews, how does that figure into your life?
It doesn't really. It doesn't really.
That's amazing.
Maybe somebody will surpass me in future. I'll still sleep really well at night.
Wow, I have to say, you are, I feel like you're a shining example of modesty. This is truly just a side project that you do for fun.
That's right.
And that's amazing. I feel like so many people in our society are looking to be famous for something or to capitalize on their side hustle. And you're just like, eh.
The most brilliant thing I think that was said in the last century was Andy Warhol. And it was very far-seeing. And he said that everyone in the future will have 15 minutes of fame. I don't know if I'm misquoting, but it was something like that. And I thought, this was in 1970. I remember hearing this and I'm like, that's ridiculous. How can you have 15 minutes of fame? It was one of the most prescient remarks because it was before the internet. It was before instant social media. It was before any of this high hyper communication that we have going on today. And now we talk about the 15 minutes of fame as if it's a thing, which it is. So I view this is my 15 minutes of fame, lasting a little longer than 15 minutes, but just about as important.
Eloquent, modest, and delightful. Joanna Dannemann is the #1 Hall of Fame reviewer on Amazon, but don't be fooled. She hasn't let it get to her head. She also has an amazing sense of humor. 5 stars. Okay, I'm not good at writing reviews, so I asked her for some advice.
For anybody reviewing, think about what you want to read in a review. I always do this for everything I do. Turn it around. If you were receiving it, what would you want to get? What would you want to get out of it? So you want to know what feeling it created. You want to know the pros and the cons. You want to know the truth. The truth. So you want to be authentic, you want to be truthful, and you want to be personal. For those who like personal stories, there's some people who read, the true confessions and crime stories. There's a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
They want the real skinny. They really want to know that you broke out in enormous hives and huge pustules and you had to go to the emergency room. That's what they want to know. And don't be modest about it. Tell them, you couldn't sit for a week because you put that in, and it was they want to know that. And you don't have to put all the gory details in, and watch your language. Try to be what a 7-year-old could read it to his mother. If I'm doing a big review, I do an outline. I actually will write an outline, point A, point B, point C, pros, cons, summary, boom. And if your mind is orderly and you write in orderly fashion and don't just, throw words up and hope that they rearrange, people will be able to follow your thoughts. I'm not sure if it was Noam Chomsky, but he said that the end result of all communication is misunderstanding. So you have to try to be as clear as possible.
So that was my interview with Joanna. Truly a remarkable woman. I think for all of the things we said about Amazon tonight, my interaction with Joanna was like a real warm experience. I was just like totally not expecting somebody who is just as kind as her. And that's the end of our show, everybody! I'd like to thank all of our guests this evening. Let's give it up for Caroline Haskins, Kashmir Hill, and Dhruv Mehrotra. Let's give it up for Darren, the music master. Sam, our moderator. Raleigh, the co-host of The Mostest. Let's give it up for Caveat, Paula in the booth, Andrew, John and Anthony back here, Ben, Kylie, the people working the door also. And my name is Mark Vigent. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Our next show next month is all about Google. So please be sure to come out for that. It's going to be a blast. And follow me on YouTube so you see what kind of shit I can sell on Amazon. I'll see you next time.